Year after year, failure ensued in Europe's elite competition. Unfortunate draws, release clauses, players turning their backs on us, and others who desperately wanted to return were still blinded by the sight of greed. Because no way in hell can I afford over 100k a week for you, Carboni.
Look, I gotta tell you, I love money.
At Aries, the 6th season will be Hrukertis' last as a full-time manager, and with the stresses of Carboni, Goulaire, as well as being 80 years old, can you blame the man? With a cam problem escalating with Shopball being sold before Goulaire's clause was matched, the club could rely on Chilean Marbo Lazo, as well as Mario, who is Malaga's finest academy product. At striker, a couple of club icons were getting too comfortable, and Cholak was not enough to push the team to the next level. That brought in Tyne Kunin, who arrived for a record transfer fee. With Kalimundo brought in for more competition at 4.2 million, we'd hope the goals would be no issue. Midfield-wise, we suffered a great loss with Nikola Milovac being sold with half of Europe after him. That resulted in Ivan coming in for 8 million. Not related to Ivan, or 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 Ivan.
Like 300 and something.
We then continued the theme of saving underwhelming wonder kids, as Elias Moriba joined our side for 2.2 million. Finally, Tony Lato signed for 13.25 million, as I felt a left back was needed. Now, there was a lot of pressure on Radek Vitek this campaign. Some parts of the fan base were beginning to feel that he wasn't the guy. I thought the arguments were unfair, especially since he had room to develop. Yet, that didn't deter me from accepting over 20 million from Fulham, which Vitek rejected, angering the fans and piling on the need to perform. In our Champions League opener, we faced Arsenal for the 3rd time in 4 years. While they would be known as massive bottle jobs, as at the end of the season, they lost their final game to Leicester, seeing Manchester City lift the Premier League again by 1 point. However, compared to us, they were the favorites, but Vitek was keeping us in it. I was here for him proving the haters wrong, until he got wrong-footed by a block shot, giving Yuri Tielemans a simple goal. There were other nervy moments, but he kept us in the match. Yes, we lost, but the Czech was the best performer. With the destruction of Salzburg a few weeks later, we then hosted another English side in Leeds United. Despite having a good team, I'm still not sure how they finished in 3rd. It was tightly fought, but up came Kunin. He was struggling this season, not scoring in any of his first 6 appearances. The 007 meme loomed, but he powered through the Leeds defense to score his first for the club. Now, Leeds would equalize with Christensen sending Kalimuendo back to France. Time and chances went, but sometimes you need to count on old reliable. Morgala, can he find one more pass? Cross into the back post. Liza! A satisfying win, but the reverse would happen versus Monaco. With a 1-0 lead thanks to Doué, things were looking good heading into the final 10 minutes. However, it began to unravel, and Vitek's poor parry led to Monaco's equalizer. Then, in added time, poor marking led to Baturina's cross, where Doumbia hopped above 2 of my defenders, including 197cm tall Nyambe for the winner. The remaining fixtures were a little more straightforward. Conan and Mario were scoring a bunch versus Molde and Fiorentina, placing us in 7th. In Greece, the side were still undefeated, although the point tally was minuscule. Unfortunately, top 8 in the Champions League was merely a dream, due to Catalerie dominating us with a 2-0 loss versus AC Milan. While RB Leipzig were defeated with Gino's bar-down strike, the club missed 8th place by a single point. Thankfully, we don't have to play PSG yet. Although Atletico Madrid was no easy foe, and there were some troubling situations. Our former record transfer of Joao Lopes was given a lot of time to develop, but when he gets one offer from England, he demands to be sold, takes a dump on my desk, leaving a note announcing his intentions to leave. I send him to the under-19s, he responds with a transfer request, and I reverse Uno saying no. Then Hertha offered a lot of money, and I decided to get rid. It's all good though. I have a new favorite Portuguese fullback named Diogo, who cost 3 million after his loan became permanent at season's end. Another issue, I failed in the Greek Cup again.
Lower your expectations a lot.
3 seasons in a row now, as in a shootout versus Olympiacos, Infantino's strike was stopped, leading to our elimination and failing a board objective. No issues in the league, although in Europe, if I face PSG in the knockouts one more time and lose, Chroo retires. But we didn't have to face it yet. Athletic Madrid in the playoff round wasn't a simple task, especially when Memphis Depay somehow beat Vitek from a tough angle. A lifeline was given when Reynaldo received his second yellow in the 60th minute. Unfortunately, we couldn't take advantage of it, as 35-year-old Oblak was goated. A 1-0 deficit into the home tie was manageable, and Scaloni's side learned what happens when a rat is on fire. He'd also find Conan to give the aggregate lead to us in just half an hour. It was smooth sailing, but with 15 to go, all of our defenders wanted João Felix's autograph, leaving 2 men open. Koke for the pass, and Pantoja for the equalizer. A buffoon level of defending, but the side reacted immediately. From kickoff, Atletico allowed us into their box, seeing Conan play a 1-2 with Elias Moriba, whose goal would send us to the round of 16. Our opponents were not PSG. Let's go! However, we did have to face Napoli. I liked my odds compared to some of those teams, but I forgot that De Laurentiis is a stubborn man and very good about not letting a player leave. Osimhen was still here, Ferradona too, and he even kept Kim and Jae in this universe. How did he do that? With some other great pieces, my worries were increased, but we were at home and started well. Lazo smacked the ball off the post, and moments later, we scored. However, it was clearly offside. And then, Osimhen scored seconds after. It happens. He's a great player. No. Offside. What penalty? Michael Oliver, you fraud! No! Let's just get going again off the kickoff. Is this tie over in less than 30 minutes? There was so much hope. We weren't playing PSG, and before the half-hour mark, we hit the iron again. With Di Lorenzo finding Osimhen with another cross, I needed Rakov to drop back and support. This second half needed to be an improvement scoring-wise, so I moved the attacking midfielder to striker to salvage this. Napoli then responds with a 4-2-2? Matias Almeida, you son of a bitch. Thankfully, the goal we wanted was scored. Now let's not do anything stupid was my thought. But no, leave Anguissa wide open. So, 3 strikers up top? Shots that aren't headers from stupid angles. I will never go in. Come on, Diogo, press him. Oh, thank you. I'll take that. And then, our corner kick was knotted in by Nyambe. This was going better than my expectations at the break. But Napoli had a corner ASAP, and Vitek... Bro, Vitek, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? That's right at you! There was still a chance, but we shouldn't have lost 5-3. The Greek schedule makers wouldn't help us either. The reverse fixture needed everything to go our way. And a gift was given, but when it all seemed doable, Napoli were the ones creating, and we couldn't do anything useful. The 2-goal margin remained that way for the longest time, and in the 90th minute, Osimhen extended it. A frustrating exit and a lot of questions asked. Can this formation do it in Europe? Is Vitek really the goalkeeper for this stage? And can Chroo avoid a heart attack at this age? The answer to all of those is probably no. Well, not for the last point. Yet. Napoli would go on and defeat Spurs in the quarters with a 6-1 victory at home, where they had to play PSG in the semis. In dramatic fashion, Osimhen equalized the aggregate late in the second leg, and with both sides scoring in extra time, penalties decided their fate. Kvara and Ansu missed theirs, but the others scored until Mancini, whose strike was stopped, and the Parisians would appear in another final. They could get the three-peat, and their opponents at Old Trafford was Benfica? They defeated Monaco, Liverpool, and Real Madrid in pens. You can't say they didn't earn it. Benfica haven't won a European trophy since 1962. And no, I'm not counting the youth competition. There's this whole thing about the Bella Gutmann curse, which, whether the alleged curse was truth or fiction, doesn't matter. What Benfica did was thought to be impossible in the modern game. It's not like their side was loaded with all-stars. They had a retiring Christian Eriksen, a 33-year-old Mitrovic, and Harry Suter in defense. Yet, something special happened on this day. Lokonga was pushed off a corner kick, leading to a Benfica penalty. In his last match, Christian Eriksen slaughtered it. But PSG would respond. They're back-to-back winners, the impossible team to defeat. We would know. This is supposed to be what I'm trying to do. Yet, no matter what they tried, Benfica remained resilient. Also, Mbappe was terrible. Mbappe, why could you never do that against us? So the final whistle went. Benfica did the impossible and lifted the Champions League. The only thing that stained this victory was some random player who made a single appearance off the bench for Benfica. Gotta call himself a champion. Regardless, who led this Cinderella story? Ernesto Valverde. Chroo was in the stadium that day and realized it can be done. A club outside the top 5 leagues can win this trophy. So he copied Ernesto's tactics.